Welcome back to my channel. You already know it's your boy Hood Diggity the Rock Reactor back with another video. Yes, sir. I was about to make the mistake of reacting to Kujo Beatdown. And when I first started, I was like, wait a minute, I'm not going to understand this. Let me listen to my man, and shout out to that viewer. I don't have his name here or her name, but my appreciations go out to you. This goes out to the viewer that recommended that I watch this video before I actually before I react to Kujo Beatdown, because I'm not gonna understand it. So I said, you know what? Let me just react to it. Let me just go ahead and see what's going on, because I want to know the whole story. Also, I want to know, it says why Sick Boi is off all streaming platforms. But Sick Boi is actually on YouTube. So I need to find out what happened with that, because it's not off all streaming platforms. Because obviously I just reacted to it on YouTube recently. But anyway, let's get right to it, man. It's why Sick Boi is off all platforms and the KUJOBEATS and Ren situation. I guess KUJOBEATS is he's a dude that makes, I don't know, a company that makes beats or whatever. But anyway, let's get right to it, guys.
This is a video that I never, ever really wanted to have to make, but it's very important for me that I do. All the time, artists all over the world pour their souls into their work, and that work is tainted by money or greed. A lot of you will have been asking me the question why Sick Boi has disappeared now, as well as YouTube on streaming services. It's a video that was very close to me. It's a video that told my story about my health. It's a video that told the story of many other people who have been gaslit by the medical community. It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough.
See, when he just said that, guys, I had to stop it. I definitely had to stop it, because I kind of feel bad. I wouldn't ever want to look at my reaction video to High Ren, because I kind of feel bad, because I guess I was insensitive and I just blew it off and listened to what he just said. It was a video about, it was a song about his health and his health. And I took it as, this is whack, this is it. So I feel bad. But anyway, let's continue to hear it, man.
It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music video, for promotion. It was also the leading title of the only #1 album that I've got, so I was very, very proud of it. And we'll no longer have that song, guys. And I want to go into the reasons why. Also, I do recommend sticking around to...
Well, not Sick Boi, it was High Ren. He said Sick Boi, that's right. He said Sick Boi. No, Sick Boi, by the time I reacted to Sick Boi, I get it. But the one for High... Did he say High Ren or Sick Boi? No, he said Sick Boi.
It was very close to me.
He said Sick Boi.
It's a video that told my story about my health. It's a video that told the story of many other people who have been gaslit by the medical community. It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough. It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music video, for promotion. It was also the leading title of the only #1 album that I've got, so I was very, very proud of it. And we'll no longer have that song, guys. And I want to go into the reasons why. Also, I do recommend sticking around to the end of this video, because I've got a very exciting announcement about all of this that relates to all of this right at the end. People who have been following me for a while, they'll know the sort of person I am. They know the principles that I have, and they'll know how I treat other independent artists. So they'll know why it was so important for me to have to make this video. And I want it to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously, I'm emotionally affected by it, and that may leak in, right? But I want to share entire clips of these conversations so there can be no doubt. Also, if Kujo and his girlfriend want to share any more screenshots of either of those conversations, I encourage them to, because I believe that this should all be public knowledge, so there can be no doubt. Rather than taking people's words from it, I would like them just to see transparently what has happened here. To give context for all of this, back in 2022, I buy a beat from BeatStars, right? For anyone who doesn't know, BeatStars is a platform that connects producers to artists who need beats. I do produce most of my own work, but I wanted to find some hip-hop beats for inspiration. What I would usually do is buy a beat, arrange it slightly differently, tweak it myself, add my own vocals, add my own layers and stuff like that. I find this banging beat, right, from a producer called KUJOBEATS, which I buy an unlimited license for. This is all very important to keep in mind for later on, right? I buy an unlimited license, which means that I am able to put it on all streaming platforms and get as many streams as I want, and all recording on platforms like YouTube, etc., right? After I do this, I send my YouTube guy that I work with, and I send the publishing team an email just giving them a heads up, being like, yo guys, I bought this beat, they need to be registered correctly, content ID needs to be turned off. I'll put a clip of that. I'm putting screenshots of those messages here just in case Kujo claims I never did this. I did do this. I also went the extra mile and messaged the team and said, look, we need to credit him on Spotify credits and stuff like that as well, because sometimes artists don't always fully credit producers. I think that I forgot to do it in the YouTube description for like the first.
Those of you who know, because I don't really know how that works, but if he purchased it with unlimited use, does he still have to put in, does he still have to credit him, or purchasing it with unlimited use also means that you still have to credit the producer? Let me know how that works, guys.
First month or two, and then I updated it, and then he was fully credited the whole time, right? That was just a lapse because there was a lot going on. I was in Canada treating and stuff. But anyway, he was credited fully, like very soon in everywhere. And as far as I was aware, registered everywhere. So I don't think anything of it, right? Also, in the BeatStars contract, it says very clearly that the person selling you the beat has to own the beat. And if there are any elements of the beat that he doesn't own, he has to.
Okay, so this is for credit, not for compensation, guys. Let me know if I'm getting this.
To let you know. This is very important to remember for what is to follow as well, right? So yeah, I think there's no problems. I buy the beat. I record a song. This is before things have blown up with my music, so I'm still pretty underground artist at this point. I record the track, put it out. I even get a message from him at some point, which is also important to remember because of the hypocrisy of this whole situation. That's like, wicked, I love the track. Okay? Remember that too. Before I begin, I just want to add this. I have no problem with BeatStars. I think they're a very innovative company who actually help people make art, which I'm very, very passionate about. I think the contracts and the things you're getting into could be clearer.
Okay, so KUJOBEATS made the beat. He purchased the beat for Sick Boi from KUJOBEATS. Is what I'm understanding, guys. Let me know if I'm getting sidetracked, and that's why it's off the platform.
Because we're now in a situation negotiating older tracks bought from BeatStars. I would love to talk to the if anyone from there is watching, I imagine they will be at some point. I would love to talk to the CEO, founder of BeatStars, face to face, just because I want to understand how something like this could have happened, and I want to understand why it escalated the way it did, because from what I've heard, he's someone who cares a lot about artists, and someone who creates a platform like that I think must be very passionate about music. I'd love to chat to you if you're listening, and I'd love to figure out why this happened and how we can stop things like this happening in the future. I also think that there needs to be a bit more stringent.
So basically, KUJOBEATS sold them a beat that wasn't entirely his beat.
Checks on if people are selling unlicensed samples, because then things tend to get a little bit sticky like they have here. Anyway, that's it. I have no problem with BeatStars because I'm not interested in going to war with them, because I think that it's really cool that there's a platform like that exists for artists and producers to be connected. Just thought I'd put that out there, make that clear. Right, so I arrive home from Canada after a 1.5 year long treatment of treating brain damage and autoimmunity, which a lot of you will know if you've been following my journey. And I'm expecting a nice 2 weeks with my mates before I do my first ever solo show in 5 years because of my health. So I'm just like, I want a nice chill time. I want to be able to focus on rehearsing and stuff. Very early on, I wake up to a message saying, yo, your song Sick Boi has been taken down. So I look at it, and sure enough, it's been copyright striked from this guy KUJOBEATS' channel. And initially I'm like, oh, this just must be some automatic fuck up. So like, I don't take it too seriously. I send him a message like, yo, there must have been a technical error or something here. No response for 2 days. So I'm like, what's going on? So I check his channel, And then I see a comment of that beat that he licensed me, and I see a comment that's like, Ren has left me no choice. I'm sorry that I had to do this. And I'm like, okay, so this was intentional. Like, what? Like, the last conversation I had with this guy was months ago with him being like, yo, big up your work, it's sick. So I'm like super confused about it. So I send him another email like, dude, what's going on? Again, I get absolutely no response. So I put a comment in his YouTube comment section, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get hold of you. Why are you ignoring me? Like, I just want to resolve this amicably. What's going on? Finally, I get a response on Instagram. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put all of these responses in their full form so that there can be no doubt as to what happened. I'm just going to read out like the key moments and explain the key moments. But if anyone's like interested in deep diving so there can be no doubt as to what's happened here, feel free to pause it. If Kujo and his girlfriend...
Sounds to me so far, guys, I have to throw in my 2 cents or my 1 cent. But it sounds to me like KUJOBEATS is on some coward shit right now. Because why avoid conversation and just do shit on the left and then just avoid it? See, right now he's ghosting him at this point.
Like I said, feel like I've left anything out, they are welcome to post it. I have nothing to hide about this situation. So he responds and he tells me that he's been talking to my lawyer for months, which I have no idea about. I've been in Canada, and he seems like quite a nice guy initially. So I'm like, okay, maybe this has all just been a misunderstanding. I remember even saying to like Connor and that, I was like, this has probably just been a misunderstanding and something's gone wrong here. Don't worry. He seems like you're all right, dude. We will sort this out. But then after that little exchange, I noticed a comment in the YouTube comment section on his video saying that I'm lying about the situation, when I thought that we like on the same page here. So I pull him up on it, and he's like, oh no, I didn't say you were lying, when he clearly did. That should have been like the first red flag for me, but still giving him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, maybe another misunderstanding. Anyway, so I contact my lawyer to find out what the hell's happening, because I'm in the dark about all of this situation. And he explains to me that I've been sold a beat with a stolen sample, with an unlicensed sample, and that the Bulgarian choir sample owners had chased him and gone, look, you've used this beat without permission, you've used this sample without permission, and so you need to give us 50% of the publishing split. And what my lawyer's done, because we were sold a beat in good faith and it wasn't actually cleared, he's reached out to Kujo and gone, look, I think you need to absorb this for selling this in bad faith, basically. And they've gone, no, we're not going to absorb that. And then it's escalated, and they've, I think because my lawyer was being slightly slow with the responses, they also, keep in mind, I don't know any of this is happening.
So basically, dude sold a stolen beat. It's like if I steal a TV from your house and I go and I sell it to somebody else and I say that is my TV. That's basically it.
Right now, to get my attention, they issue a copyright strike on the video, which affects my YouTube channel, by the way, and the video gets taken down as a form of leverage, which is a bizarre way of dealing with things, I think, because it would have been a good idea to contact me, maybe, like anyone first, if this was getting so like blown up. Like maybe the lawyers, maybe Kujo could have actually reached out to me, the artist. Nobody did. So I found that a bit bizarre. Any fucking way. Then I read another comment that Kujo's posted, calling me a coward.
We can talk on Instagram, email if you want. I've been in negotiations with your lawyer for months without receiving insights. You have yet to pay me the royalties you owe, and I think it's cowardly of you to pretend like you have done nothing wrong. Guys, why is it that you have to buy the beat and then pay for royalties? I mean, I don't understand how that works.
To pay the royalties he's owed, and I'm like, what royalty? That's also, in my head, the publishers are just paying him the money, and now the situation has to change until everyone agrees on it. But I wasn't even privy to that conversation about what a fair split should be yet. So I was like, what? I don't owe you. I don't owe this guy money. Like, there's no master splits on the BeatStars contracts, by the way. So all money that comes in to Kujo, which should be paid to Kujo, rightly so, comes from the publisher, which is nothing to do with me, by the way. I explained this so many times in this conversation, by the way, and he's adamant to say, probably short of like 50 times, pay me my money. I am nothing to do with his money, right? So It's a very bizarre thing to keep saying, but I try to explain that to him patiently, never really takes it in. Anyway, he calls me a coward on this comment, so I pull him up on that. This actually starts to then rub me up a little bit. So I'm like, I pull him up on that. It's saying like, the hell, like, cowardly? Anyway, I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Anyway, despite this, I feel like he's probably just misinformed, so I still take his side on it, and I go on to reassure him he'll get paid his publishing money because I want him to get paid his publishing money. Doesn't affect me in any way. So like, I was like, yeah, I'll chase it up for you. I let him know that I'm happy to split publishing if there's a bit of a grey area, and I'm kind of reassuring him. It's really important to remember this, by the way, guys, because some of the lies that are posted later make me out to be really unreasonable. So I'm like, yo, if there's some simple mistake, let's split the publishing. It's cool. I'm happy to do that. Yeah. Anyway, so he comes back to me and lies more. He says it's always up to the performer to clear the sample. It's not. It's up to the producer. But unless there's been a conversation. But in this case, as you can see, we're willing to make concessions for you to get your...
So how the hell are you going to sell me a beat and then I got to clear the sample? I don't get that, guys.
fair share. So actually it's me making the concessions here because he sold a stolen sample, and I'm like, you know what, you can still have some publishing split, right? So like, I'm actually being the one that's being quite reasonable here, and he's flipped on his head like, we'll be good to you, you know, because I've done nothing wrong in this situation. Anyway, I was like, and then he says, I was under the impression you would have received a warning. I had no idea that the video would be completely taken down. Another lie, as you'll see soon. He and his lawyer agreed to take this video down as a form of leverage. It was our only possible negotiation tactic to get a response. Maybe message me. They're scratching their head. How can we get a response? Okay, we'll take his video down, issue a copyright strike, which also, I didn't actually violate the contract. Not intentionally. So the only possible tactic, dude, message me. Send me an email. Like, you've messaged me before to tell me that you love my work, so like, send me an email about this. Anyway, he says he also wants to wrap it up immediately and get the song back online. Another lie, as you will see later on, because he decides to stick to his guns and use the video as leverage. Anyway, the plot thickens. I get an email from their lawyer, and I'm not going to share it in case they start claiming I'm sharing things I'm not supposed to. But I get an email, and it says, on top of the publishing split, they want a £3,000 payment, right?
Oh my god.
They want a 15% retroactive split of the master, which has nothing to do with publishing, which means like 15% of everything the song has ever made since it came out, retroactively, so since it's come out to this moment, and then into the future, when I've paid for an unlimited sample, unlimited license beat. And with that, you're talking money from record sales, you're talking money from streaming things, you're talking all of that when they haven't put any effort into promoting the song. He's made a beat and he's stolen part of the beat, and he wants 15% of everything the song has ever made for that, plus the
Is this guy serious?
£3,000 advance. Out of principle, I wasn't going to give him that. But because like, may have been slightly open to negotiations if they hadn't used the song as...
One thing is Ren being nice, another thing is Ren being a sucker, man. Giving them all that, you're crazy, especially when you stole the beat. Come on.
Leverage and actually treated me like a decent person. I didn't put like lies about the situation, right? But nah, out of principle, I wasn't going to agree to that. And also to clarify, when I've been in rooms with producers and we've made a song from scratch, I've done a lot of like 50-50 splits, or I've done like 25-75, or with other collaborated artists, we just agree on a split that's like 50-50, 25. So, you know, like 15% isn't outrageous, right? What's outrageous is that they already sold it with an unlimited license right from the get-go. So you go into beat...
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't have to give him shit.
Stars thinking, I'm buying an unlimited license for this much money, right? And I was broke at the time when I bought that beat. So it's like, you go into the situation buying something, and then later on down the line, it can come back and sting you if they go, oh, this slight thing, well, we found a loophole here, which means that now you owe us all this money, right? So it's like, it was kind of unfair, because say you buy a painting off somebody for £10, and then the price of it rises exponentially because maybe the painter dies or something, or he becomes really popular. You don't then just go back to the person you sold it to and go, oh, that painting's worth like 20 times more now, give me a bit more money for it, because the transaction's been done. And that's kind of how I felt about the BeatStars thing. It wasn't about me losing money, it was about the principle of like, we've stepped into this agreement, And I was in full faith thinking I was buying an unlimited sample, but that's unlimited license, sorry. But that's not actually what's happened, is it? Right? And it says that if I don't agree to this, they're within their right to claim 100% of the song because I have breached something in the contract, right? Now, this is what I breached. Apparently, content ID was turned on the track, okay, on YouTube. As you'll see from my earlier on in this video, I actually specifically requested content ID was turned off, and my YouTube guide did turn it off. There has been something to do with the distribution where somewhere along the line, even after I specifically requested this, it may have gotten turned on at some point, right? Where this doesn't actually make any money, which we've got proof of, because I actually let reactors, I let content creators monetize their own videos where they're reacting to my songs. I've done this since the start because I believe that everyone should get paid. It helps promote me. I'm not losing out. Everyone's a winner. A rising tide lifts all ships, baby. So like, I'm like, they're using this as leverage, but legally, but thus is the world. They actually had something to lean on with that. So they were like, look, if you don't agree to these terms, 15% retroactive master split, this share on publishing, and a £3,000 advance against the master, we're going to take 100% of what you own. At this point, I'm obviously pretty annoyed, which is pretty understandable, right? Anyway, at this point, they've got my attention, so there's no reason they need to use the video for Sick Boi as leverage, right? So I give them a fair warning. I'm like, mate, if you don't put the video back up on Friday, I'm going to have to put a public post explaining why it's down. And I give him a fair warning, which is also important to remember because later on he plays the victim saying that I've put a post encouraging my fans to bully him, which I didn't. I gave him a fair warning about it. I never once encouraged them to bully him. I just needed to explain why my video was down because this was proper stressing me out. And I feel like I didn't want to be silenced about the whole situation. But the time comes around, I put the post out, and I'm always still thinking for like a positive solution here. So I have like a brainwave of like, oh, I've got a brilliant solution, right? So I approach him and I'm like, dude, look, I know that things got complicated here, but out of principle, I don't really want to budge on the master split for this thing, but I've got a much better idea because a lot of my fan base are like now giving him, because I put the public post out, a lot of my fan base are giving him grief, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want this guy's life to get ruined because of this, like, despite how frustrated it's made me. I don't want this guy to get.
Ren is just being too nice. I'm questioning why is it that Ren was so involved in this altercation? Isn't the lawyer supposed to handle all this? I mean, obviously, that guy didn't have no grounds. You sold me a beat that obviously you had stolen samples. So right there by itself, that's a losing battle on his end, isn't it? I don't know why Ren got so involved. Or why did he have to get so involved? Why wasn't the lawyers stepped in and handled this?
Ruined. I didn't want to get abused about it. I just wanted to get the song back. That was the thing. So like, I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, look, I thought of a thing because I am a man of principle. I didn't want to bend to threats and stuff about the song being claimed 100%. So I'm like, I've got a much better idea. Let's make a song. We'll split it 50-50 down the middle. Master, publishing, everything. A song from scratch. Then if we do that way, it'll be like a fuck you to the industry. Yeah, you and me on a track. You'll make way more money this way because it's 50-50. You'll also get my fan base on your side. It's going to be a great thing because I'm always like, I want to look forward. I don't want to look backwards. I don't want to look at all these things that happened in the past. I'm like, this is actually going to make him even more. And he rejected it. He turned it down, which I still think to this day,
dumb motherfucker.
It is a bit of a silly move given what happened and what happened next, but
very silly move on his part because nobody knows who the hell KUJOBEATS is.
It's a shame, man. And if you're watching this, you really should have taken that. I'm sure you are watching it. You really should have taken that deal. It was brilliant. Not only would it set you up with way more money, which is obviously what you most care about in this situation, but it also got loads of my fans on your side, which would also set.
And he would have had other artists on him trying to get beats from him and everything, man. He's stupid.
Set you up for all things that you release independently as well.
He did what we call in the hood, he shot himself in the foot. He came around the corner without a vest on.
Oh, and you'd have come out this looking good. Shame. I offered you that olive branch. I offered quite a few olive branches on numerous occasions.
Too many.
Which you weren't interested in. Then after that, there's a post on Instagram saying that I've stolen samples from people. which is bizarre because I never have. So I send him a message being like, he said that a British artist has got in touch with him and been like, Ren steal samples, which is obviously complete made up bullshit, right? So I messaged him about that. I'm like, what samples have I stolen? The Vera Hall one that I just put out, totally cleared. We cleared that with publishing company because I actually don't like steal my samples. And then any covers that I've done, they're just on YouTube. You're allowed to do that because there's a cover license on YouTube. So like, what are you talking about? To which he then just like ignores it, takes the post down, and then like and then just goes on some other fucking tangent. So it's like kind of grasping at straws here to make me look like the bad guy. So we arranged to have this call with the lawyers and Kujo, and I'm actually really excited to have the call because it's the first time I can talk to Kujo face to face, deal with this like grown-ups, like adults, and talk to each other. But it's not how it pans out. So we get on the call, and the first thing that happens is the lawyer just says, look, Ren, I think that you taking this public was very unprofessional. And I was like, hold on a second, I wasn't the person who took this public, first of all. Like, taking the video down is an aggressive move. And also, I didn't take it public, first of all. Kujo was commenting countless things on his YouTube before I even made the comment, calling me a liar, a coward, a numb. So like, to say that I took this public, nah, I just responded to what happened and then explained to my fans why the song was down. Those posts are still up for everyone to see. All the posts on his comments are still there for everybody to see. So first of all, it was kind of like, we got into it straight away with me like having to be like, I put it straight and then everyone was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. The funniest thing about that call is Kujo was on it. He did not say a single word. Even when I like addressed him with questions, his lawyer would interject and go, I can answer that. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to talk to the person who's like, you know, like an adult. I want to talk to this person. And then my lawyer there's even a moment when my lawyer's like, look, I want to address this question to Kujo. Do you actually feel like this situation is fair? He says nothing, and the lawyer interjects again. So for that whole call, which, you know, took about half an hour, 40 minutes, he didn't say a single word. And I thought that was disrespectful, given the circumstances. He later claimed that it was because he doesn't legally know enough and it should be between the lawyers. But no, man, like, regardless of your legal knowledge, we can still have a conversation like adults. Like, I'm not here to try and like intimidate or anything like that. I want to talk to you like a grown-up, brother. And
the thing is that sometimes when you're too nice, and I get it, Ren is a person that he wants to meet everybody halfway. You know, he want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. He want to throw everybody the olive branch. Let's see what the problem is and settle everything peacefully. But the mistake, I believe, with Ren, I think he went too far. I'd have been a person like me. I wouldn't have had that much patience. I would have saw you as the enemy from the beginning. I wouldn't have, fuck this olive branch shit. Because I believe where Ren is mistaken is when you expect everybody to be the same. You can't be an angel in a cage full of demons. It's just that simple.
And that didn't happen. I wasn't afforded that luxury. I was talking a fair bit on that call about how I felt about the situation and what I felt was right. And I also said on that call that I didn't think that a retroactive split was right, because of all the reasons I've mentioned. But it is what it is, man. And then we came.
So you're telling me you sell me a beat with stolen samples, and I have to give you retroactive split, and I have to give you all this and that because of some content ID shit? Come on, man.
Off the call, and I felt pretty let down by it, to be honest. This is where the plot gets even more ridiculous, and I'm sorry this is a long video, guys, but this is mad, and this is emotionally exhausting, this bit. So I read a bunch of comments on Instagram from this person talking about the contract, saying things that aren't actually in the contract. I'm like, who the is this? So I message him and be like, yo, by the way, you're misinformed. The contract actually doesn't state that it's on me to clear the samples. Then I click on the profile, I realise that it's Kujo's girlfriend, so I immediately unsend all those messages. Because to be honest, look, he was getting grief from my fans, and I think to myself, you know what? He needs someone supporting him, even though that he's been an arsehole. I don't want to like start messaging his girlfriend and shit, whatever. I'll leave her out of this. But she sees that I've unsent the messages, and she instigates the conversation, says, have you done an oopsie? We start chatting for a long time. We'll put those messages up so that you can read it. It actually ends up being, it seems to me, like it's like semi-amicable after a while of talking to each other. Like you can pause this and read this if you want. It's like basically the long and short of it is like she feels like Kujo's been misrepresented and feels like it's a lot of the industry's fault, my lawyer's fault and stuff like that, which is kind of what Kujo feels like, right? She then threatens to break my kneecaps, which, even though it's a little bit out of pocket, you know me, I laugh about it. The thing that rubs me up about things like that is, if that had been the other way around, I never actually once got violent about this situation. If that had been the other way around, they would have been like, Ren's such a violent, later on they would have been like, Ren's such a violent person, or using bully tactics, because they've spoken about like how I'm using bully tactics by simply talking about the situation publicly, transparently. She also gaslights me by saying, you know, like, imagine what would have happened if he had mental health issues. I have a very long list of mental health issues. I am the person with mental health issues. You're not considering what it does to my mental health, are you, when you take down a song that means that much to me? A song that I've poured into, that I'm exposing a part of me that's very vulnerable about my health journey. Like, you're not considering that, are you? All I've done is post publicly about the situation. I've never told anybody to send you guys abuse or anything like that. And actually, if anybody's watching this right now, for clarity, even though I am very annoyed about the situation, I don't want anyone to send them abuse. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm annoyed about the situation, but it's done now. The song's down. It's gone. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I'm not trying to ruin somebody's life over this. I'll have my own form of revenge, as you'll see at the end of this video. But I'm not trying to ruin anyone's life over this. So, like, if they say to me that I'm trying to incentivize stuff like that, I'm not, guys. I don't want you to go and abuse them, right? But it is up to me to talk about this situation fairly. So, like, I
just want to see how this guy looks like for some reason, man, because I'm trying to picture him or whatever.
To make some middle ground. She's even talking to me about like her ADHD and knows that I've got ADHD, and like, you know, maybe we just got. So I'm like, you know what? She seems pretty level-headed, right? So like, cool. You know what?
I don't know, guys. Let me know if I'm wrong for saying this, but I don't think Ren should have ever interacted with girlfriend. I think that would have probably done more wrong than good, more bad than good. I don't know. I wouldn't have, as a man, I would have never done that.
Maybe these guys it's just a big misunderstanding and we can figure a way to amicably sort this out. And I say to her, look, yeah, I'm happy to split the publishing, but I don't really want to split the master out of principle because I bought this, right? You know, But
why does he have to split anything if the guy sold him a fucking stolen beat and he purchased it unlimited use? I don't get it. I guess, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Guys, help me out.
Then at this point I start being like, you know what, maybe I'll split some of the master for the future stuff just to get this out of the way, even though I don't believe I should because they've stolen the beat with a stolen sample. I'm like, if this just gets this over the line, I'm happy to split the future master. I even say that in the email thread to the lawyers and stuff, right? So I'm conceding a little bit here because I just want this situation done with. We end on a good note in this conversation. Then the next morning I wake up to posts from her all over my Reddit lying about the contract, and then I see a comment on Anthony Ray's video where he's talking about the situation from her, saying this is what the contract says, and she made up she wrote a whole passage that wasn't even in our contract. It was completely made up. So after her being super nice to me behind the scenes in this conversation and feeling like I wake up to read this and I'm like, I start losing my mind because I'm like, these guys, they're like, they pretend they're on my side and then it's just like they publicly post all this stuff. So I'm like, I put her up on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, first of all, this is defamation. You can't.
I would love to ask Ren, when is enough enough?
Out here like making up stuff that's not even in the contract, nice, yo. So she's like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Right, so next I find a bunch of messages on Reddit from Kujo's girlfriend lying about the contract, which I'm going to put up here, which is actually very illegal, by the way. No, I won't be pressing charges over it. I just want to get this situation out of the way, but so I'm just going to put all these up for you to pause and read if you want to. It's ridiculous, basically. She also says that I was obviously upset, so I wasn't the most cooperative. As you guys, if you skip back in this video, you'll see I was extremely cooperative when I found out what was going on. I was being very amicable when I was trying to offer Kujo solutions and being amazingly supportive and sympathetic. I refused to fully acknowledge that a mistake on my end causing Kujo not to get paid was at the heart of all of this. It wasn't. A stolen sample was at the heart of all of this. Yes, the publishers, right, failed to correctly register Kujo, which wasn't anything to do with me. They've now remedied that, and there'll be a back payment for whatever percentage we end up on. No money's been lost here, right? That is something that was the publisher's fault, which I was very annoyed about, which I actually sent a message to the publishers about, explaining how annoyed I was about that situation, fighting for Kujo in that, when I didn't have to fight for Kujo because he was being a prick, right? So I sent that message to them anyway, fighting on Kujo's side, because despite all of this, I am a man of principle still, right? I kept threatening to...
Yeah, but I would love to say to Ren, come on, man. When is enough, man? You can't be that nice to people, man. Because people, when you that nice to people, people shit on you. And then they continue to shit on you and continue to shit on you. I mean, I understand that Ren is a nice guy. I'm feeling it. Okay. But you can't... I mean, when is enough is all I got to say, man.
Sue and go public? No, I didn't. I wasn't threatening to sue. I did say I would go public if my song carried on being used as leverage. I gave them a very fair warning because they didn't need to use the song, the video as leverage, and they kept on doing that. That was because I kept getting hundreds of messages a day from my fans being like, where's the video, and I wanted to address it all at once, and I also felt like I was being treated extremely unfairly, right? I had to accept by giving up all my shares of the song in exchange for a fixed fee. Yeah, that was something between my lawyers. Ren took it in public the next morning. Yes, I did.
I don't know, man, but sound like, I mean, based on what Ren said, this guy's a straight up
Right, let's take this home now. At this point, I've just lost all amicability, right? I'm pissed off. I messaged Kujo's girlfriend and him saying, it's the first time I've threatened to sue, but I'm like, if I see any more lies from you guys about this situation, I will sue you guys. Because it's like, that's my public image. Like, I pride myself on the fairness that I show everyone that I work with, right? And my principles. And I'm also very against greed, and I stand against it militantly, which a lot of you will know from my work and how I treat people.
Yeah, but if you stand against greed, and this, I would love to say this to Ren, if you stand against greed, Kujo is no different. Kujo is trying to stomp on you. Kujo only cares about money and himself and something else. He's so greedy that he can't even look past tomorrow, because if he was really, really, really greedy, he would have worked with Ren and he would have had a lot more money than this. Things would have looked bigger for him. He would have been, man, could you imagine he would have taken that song with Ren, and then he would have gotten Ren's fans, and then he would have gotten maybe Ren's associates to get beats from him? Come on, man. That's worth more money than publicity is. His publicity, his popularity would have blown off the roof compared to where he was, because nobody knew where he was. That's why they say why Ren went public. He the one that initially went public. Based on what I see, he started posting, but they call it, Ren took it public because Ren is more popular. So when Ren started talking about it, that's when everybody actually knew about it. So they're blaming Ren for going public.
How I treat people that I work with, right? So them spreading this stuff that I'm trying to be greedy here massively hurts my public image. So I was like, if you guys lie anymore about this, yeah, I'm going to do something about it, basically. And then I'm talking to Kujo and things get more heated. We get another email from their lawyer saying, you know, like, if you won't agree to our terms, we will take 100% of the song. That's where we stand on it. That is final. If you do not agree to this retroactive master split, we're taking everything. So I messaged back. I'm going to show you that email. I messaged back, essentially summarizing this email. I just say, I'm going to take down the song myself. I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of you threatening me with my own song that I poured myself into. I've explained what
I don't understand is, where is the legality in this? Where is the legal boundary that they have? What? I don't understand that. He purchased, am I stupid? Am I dumb? Guys, help me out. He purchased a beat with unlimited use. If you sell me a beat unlimited use, it's like he says, you can't sell me a painting for $10 and after that the painter dies and the painting is worth $2 million. and then you're gonna come back and tell me you need more money. I truly don't get that. So either Ren has bad lawyers or there's something I'm not catching.
It means to me. I explained to both of them what it means to me. So I'm like, I'm taking it down myself. I don't want to let them win over this. I've been in situations in the music industry before where I had to concede because I was broke and I just had to let a powerful, greedy person win over me, you know, like, and I know this is not the same situation. It's not like Kujo is like this in this huge position of power here, but how they've dealt with this whole situation was ridiculous. So I was like, rather than like bend to this leverage and just out of principle, I'm just going to take the song off. And it's ironic, man, because the song...
I'm going to say this one more time, but I'm going to say it different. What Ren refuses to understand in this case, or refused to understand, I guess this was past tense, is that Kujo is no different than them greedy executives. The only difference is, which he hates, the only difference is that Kujo doesn't have that power, but he is no different.
It's about greed, you know, and it hurts me a lot that it's down now. It proper hurts me, man. I can't stress that enough because of what the song was and what the song meant to me, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I sent these emails. I also sent a mass email out to everybody, the publisher, Kujo, the lawyers involved, just saying how disappointed I am across the board, even from people on my side. I was just disappointed at how this whole situation been dealt with, because ultimately at the core of this situation, the only person getting proper hurt financially from this is me, right? Because of my hard work that I've done to promote this music, because of my story and how that's been exploited. I'm the person who will suffer future losses for the earnings, and that regardless of earnings, fuck earnings for a second, that song I was proud of. What it meant to people, I was proud of. The messages that I get from people every day, telling me like how much they relate to the song, how much it helps them through difficult times, you know, like that's gone now, that's taken away from people. So yeah, I'm pissed off. Anyway, so I sent that email out. Me and Kujo share some pretty heated words. If you're a petty person, you'll probably like to pause on some of this. It's ridiculous. One of the things that took the piss the most that he said when I just lost my cool at this point. I lost all patience. One of the funny things he said after all this was like, if you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song. So he was turning it around on me when he'd used the song as leverage. He said, if you cared about your fans, you leave it up for them. Then he said, I'm letting my pride and ego get in the way because I'm not paying him money that I didn't think he deserved for selling a stolen beat, right? He's saying that that's my ego. It's my ego's fault. And then he's just saying, he kept saying, just pay me, let me get my bag, I want the money, just give me my money. I explained to him again, like, dude, I'm not the person that pays you the money.
You know, I'm going to go I don't know this Kujo guy. I'm going to go based on the story and based on what Ren is saying. People like this will always be a victim of themselves. People like this never win. The only way that people like this win in the overall sense is if they change, if they realize, wait a minute. But people like this, these are the type of people that they rather win today and lose the rest of their lives. These are people, and I've came across people like this. These are people, I've known people that you give them $1,000 and they will turn around and then you send them to the store with $20 to buy something and they'll never come back. They'll steal your $20 also. Even though, damn, because of that $20 that you stole from me, you're never going to get anything from me. So who lost? So because they think that they smart, they slick, they won. Oh yeah, I stole this, I stole that. But little did you know that you lost for the rest of your life because you're going to be hungry in a week or 2 weeks and you're going to need my help. But no, they rather win today and lose the rest of their lives. They live life like they're going to die tomorrow.
I've explained this to you so many times. It's the publisher, and he's like, all right, cool. It finally seems to sink in that, like, I haven't stolen this man's money. I haven't taken a penny of this man's money. The publisher was at fault for not registering it properly, and they're resolving that, and then he'll get his money from the publishing. I don't want a penny of that. I don't care about that money. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever. He deserves a bit of money for making that part of the beat. Sure. He shouldn't have stolen a sample and then sold it to me. Theoretically, he could have all of his publishing taken away, but even after all of this, I still agreed to give him a bit of a publishing split, just to shut him up.
I would never give him
So
shit.
it's like, I could have been even more petty and dug my feet in there, but I just want this situation over with. So the song's down. The funniest comment that I'm going to end this on, because this is going to be some album artwork, by the way. Single artwork, sorry. This is the next announcement.
You know, I gotta say, I got a lot of, I've came across a lot of people, and I've had friends that are like Ren, overly nice, and people take advantage of you. When is enough? People take advantage of you. And you notice how this guy, Ren, just kept trying to help him and trying to find a loop, try to listen, let's do this, let's do that, even talking to his girlfriend. And all he wants is to stomp. So in other words, I'm befriending you, and you're treating me like the enemy through the whole process. The more I try to befriend you, the more you try to do some slick shit and be on some trying to get at me type shit. Let me tell you something. I would have been lost my patience with something like that.
He goes, all right, peace. Your music sucks, by the way.
See? But then before that, you were saying that my music was good. Come on, man.
Which is really funny.
But I also don't understand. I'm sure I stopped it right away. But what I also don't understand is what type of lawyers are these, man? I don't get it. Somebody would have to explain to me where is the ground for him and his lawyer asking for all this when you sold me a beat with a stolen sample.
Considering, you know, the message earlier where he told me that it was an honor, or it was like, it was really good to work with me, you know. Funny. It's funny, hypocritical.
Hey, bro, I'm the beat maker from this one. Dope song, dope subject. You killed your man. Always makes me happy. Creation. Hit me up if you want to link.
Funny. But yeah, sure, my music sucks, brother. Cool. That's going to be the single artwork.
I bet you your music would have been hot if you would have paid him.
Which leads me to my last point, ladies and gentlemen. I'm releasing a song about this whole situation, and it's dedicated to Kujo. And it's coming out next week. It's coming out a week today. It's called Kujo Beatdown. And I love it. We made an amazing video for it. I made a beat. By the way, the beat has no unlicensed samples in it. I made the whole thing myself. I wrote all the lyrics myself, all the beats are mine. And that'll be going up on YouTube and Spotify next week. I'll also be recreating Sick Boi because those lyrics and that arrangement is mine. So for the anniversary of Sick Boi the album, you will be getting Sick Boi the beat remade, bigger and better than ever, without Kujo's input on it.
Okay.
So
that's what happened. That answered my question. I was asking that from the beginning.
Look forward to that as well. And then there's also a third song dropping. There's a little bit more positive. Next week's song is angry, alright? I'm just going to warn you there. And before Kujo and his, like, before they start complaining about blah, 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 artistic license here, you know what? I've said my piece. I'm not interested in ruining your life, bro, but I felt like I needed to get it out somehow. And so I got it out somehow. And I hope you're watching this, man. And I hope you enjoy the song, because it's dedicated to you, baby. Anyway, guys, I know that this was a long video, but I wanted there to be no doubt as to where everything stood in this situation and why you don't have a song that means so much to so many people and means so much to me. But there will be a revamped version of that song coming very soon, guys. And if you've made it this far, thank you. Sincerely. And I hope there can be no doubt as to this situation. Thank you.
That was crazy, and I started listening to the song of Kujo Beatdown, and I said, hold up, man, let me watch this video, man. It's a little bit long, And then I seen like 2 minutes of the video. I started watching it, or a minute, like, no, like something like a minute. I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to record this, man. I'm going to put this out there. I want to watch it. I want to share it, because anything that has to do with Ren, sometimes I need help, because then he goes off the steep, and I need my renegades to help me and my viewers to help me. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and do that Kujo beatdown now, because I'm definitely going to get it now. Guys, you already know, man, this is probably the longest video that I've done. Excuse me. You already know, guys. Subscribe. Stick around for that Kujo beatdown reaction. That's coming up next. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button. Get with me, guys. Share this video. Support my channel. In the meantime, peace, love, and God bless.